Alright guys, so I'm going to show you how to use the Humminbird ICE 35 ice flasher today. This is kind of a hands-on review of how it works. So this knob down here, you can see that there's a 1, 2, 4, and a 10x. Those are your depth scales. So these really aren't that hard to use. If you twist this knob to the 1x scale, you can see that I'm not actually getting anything other than these little colored marks right here. So with my one-time depth scale, it's just going to go to about 20 feet. So since I'm not seeing any red, I know that I'm not actually reaching the bottom with that depth scale. So I need to go to the second depth scale, or the 2-time depth scale. And right there you can see that I'm still not getting any red marks on here. A red mark is a strong signal return, so it would represent the bottom. So since I'm not seeing the red anywhere on the screen, then I need to go to the next depth scale, which is 4 times. So when I go to that 4x, now you can see that I have a bunch of red here. So that represents the bottom, and I'm on the 4x depth scale. So each of these numbers around here correlate to the depth scale on your dial. So the outer ring is the 1-time depth scale, the yellow ring is the 2-time depth scale. So we went to the 4-time depth scale, so it's this inner ring right here. So you can see that the numbers there were about 50 feet, 48 feet of water at the bottom. If you were to see any green, yellow, or red hash marks anywhere in this part of the screen over here, those would represent fish. You can turn up the sensitivity or the gain with this knob right here. It defaults to the gain. So as you rotate, you see this blue, that's increasing, so I know I'm turning up my sensitivity. It's beeping at me because I can't make it any more sensitive. So I can turn the sensitivity down and make it less sensitive. The next button down is the zoom button. So I can zoom anywhere in the water column right here. So if I hit zoom, you see these little white hash marks appear. So now I'm zooming between those little white hash marks. And if that's not the area that I want to zoom, you actually hit zoom and then you rotate the dial. So you can see where these white hash marks are, you're zooming in between those hash marks. So that's the part of the water column that you're zooming in on. So for example, if I wanted to zoom and I wanted to get to zoom right off of the bottom, I would hit zoom, then I would rotate this dial. Now I'm zooming between here, but I want to zoom at the bottom. So I'm going to rotate that one more time. And there you see the red, there's the bottom. So now I'm zooming between this white mark and the bottom. So let's get out of zoom. I'll hit the zoom button again. Next button down is the gain. We already went through that. Noise. If you're fishing other flashers in a close proximity, sometimes you can get interference between the two flashers. So you hit the noise button and then you can rotate this dial and it will change the frequency at which it's emitting its sonar waves. So that way you can kind of tune out the interference from other ice flashers. The bottom button here says beam. You can switch this to be kind of a wider cone angle or a wider beam, or it can be more narrow. So this narrow little blue line, that's our 9-degree cone, and the 19-degree cone is represented by the thicker blue line. So that's a quick look at the Humminbird ICE 35. I really like this flasher so far. I've only had 2 or 3 outings with it, so I can't really speak to the longevity of the unit, but pretty easy to use and some good features for the money. So one other thing I wanted to mention, if you guys watch my ice fishing videos and you see this flasher looking a lot different than it does now, it's because I'm filming this with a different camera, and depending on what camera you point at these things, the light frequency that's emitted is a little bit different. So don't freak out if on my ice fishing videos you're trying to read the flasher and it doesn't make any sense to you whatsoever. It's because it actually looks a lot different in person. It looks like it does on this video compared to the other videos. Again, that's due to the light frequency not getting along well with the camera. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel and check out some good videos. Thanks guys.